Welcome, Raw Reviewers, to another Raw review. And what are we Raw reviewing this time? Well, it's the Dinosaur. This is the only one I got. I didn't get the blue and the black one. That's the one that was show accurate. So I'm treating this as an actual Zord, as opposed to a cycle. There's our back, our side, our other side, our bottom, our top. This one is sealed differently from the Parazord and the Raptor Zord. So to open it up, you are going to need to get to the tape on the side here. Once you have broken that tape, open it from the side, pull it out on its little backdrop, throw the instructions wherever you throw your instructions. I have a big box for them. We have the Zord and the figure. We're going to need to break some elastic tie-ons, semi-elastic tie-ons. There's 3 of them, and that will fall out like that. I wouldn't be too worried. They're toys designed for children. If they can't handle falling a couple of feet, then Bandai's really dropped the ball on quality assurance. There's our rider. Once again, the box is in great enough condition that if you wish to repacket them, you can. As you can see right here, I can stick it right back into the packaging, and it'll still hold pretty well. So you actually can avoid destroying your boxes for those of you who like to preserve your boxes. Going on to the actual Zord, there are a few things of note. There's a rather badly choiced spot on the rear for a Zord Builder port. There's a Zord Builder port here. Sorry about that, folks. I pressed something and caused the video to stop. Alright, so as I was saying, there is a Zord Builder port here, and of course when you break it apart, there's a Zord Builder port there, as well as a Zord Builder male port there. You can of course break them apart and mix and match them all you want. I only have these 2, so obviously I can't do that, and I don't have the Dino Charge Megazord. I could add it to my other various Zords, but this is a review of the product itself and not how it mixes and matches with other things. When it's combined together, this is the front of the cycle. If you flip it upside down, there it is in Dino mode, where the handlebar becomes a semi-well convincing feat. Doesn't quite give you the impression that that's a tail, though, does it? This, of course, stays in this mode, and it stays the same. Obviously, the Japanese one had a little bit more transformation going on, but what can you do? What can you do? Now, as for ports and connections, if you want to just connect one into another, you can. There's 2 ports on here, but you don't have enough clearance to really connect the back part to the undermount. And of course you can't connect it to its own rear. And of course there is the intended formation where you just connect them in like that. You've got your cycle. All in all, it's a pretty decent cycle slash Zord. I give it my thumbs up. Certainly better than some of Bandai's previous offerings. The figure itself has some articulation, so it's not stuck in rider pose. You can actually give it some decent posing. Though the plastic is a very, very, very soft plastic. Look at that wobble. Or that break off. So yeah, it's a very inferior type of plastic. This is like what you would get if you were to put something underneath a heat gun for a while. So it's a very inferior product in terms of the material. I wouldn't even feel comfortable using this for customize. When I first looked at these and saw the reviews, I thought this would be kind of cool to customize. But just holding it in my hands and feeling it, it's a very rubbery, very loose material. See there, the leg broke off again. I'm literally applying no force. It's just like there. You do have to apply a little bit more effort to the legs, but not much, really. There is a swivel joint here, cut swivel joint at the shoulder, which is blocked by this. Unlike the 5-inch figures, which have articulated hinges, you can't really do much there. Again, we're feeling that rubbery kind of plastic here, which makes me think that that little pin is going to fall out. So definitely these figures, there's no head articulation, no waist twist. These are definitely very low quality figures, though I could see... No, I'm not really sure what you could do with it as a customizer. I'll have to think about that. I suppose the easeability of popping limbs off would allow you to make custom figures with different colored limbs without having to paint them relatively easily, but they pop off so easily you'd have to do something to tighten those joints up. Now, that's talking about it from a customizer perspective, and look, I put the leg on wrong. Thankfully, it's easy enough to pop off and pop back onto the other side. So in terms of how does the rider serve as an actual rider on the cycle, I'll put him in rider pose. He sits well enough on the chair and on the foot stands. The hand easily reaches over and grabs due to its new articulation. So yeah, you can actually get him to sit very comfortably on that chair. He will sit in a pretty erect sitting position, but you can tilt him back if you want to give him a more high rider position, like he's getting ready for a jump. He holds on really well, so he's got some pretty good grip on his hands. But of course you can't do any real action poses because he lacks a lot of articulation points. But you can actually sit him into the driver's seat on the Zord with very little trouble. Like in there, I thought he was rubbing paint off onto the black Zord, but no, that's just the eye. I was about to say, this is all it's all primed plastic, so why would he be having paint rub issues? He's not. But that was a bit worrying for a second. And there we go. It looks like you might be able to turn the handle, but you really can't. And there you go. It's, as a Zord and as a cycle, it's really good. The figure's absolute crap. But I'm glad that the Zord slash cycle is much better. So, with that said, I will see you all in the future. Peace out, Ranger Nation.